channel. My name is Tempest. So today I want to sit down and talk to you guys a little bit more in depth about fibroids. Before I get into the questions, there's 3 things I want to cover. 1, please understand that I'm not a medical profession. I'm only talking about my experience with uterine fibroids in hopes that it helps someone else or understand some of their symptoms in relation to fibroids, because it's not a most talked about topic. 2, before we move forward, I need you guys to like, comment, subscribe, and share. Share this video with a friend. And last but not least, what I need to answer, well, who am I? Okay, so if you have not checked out my past videos that I've previously posted, I want to tell you guys a little bit more about me. So, being as vulnerable as I can, as you guys know, my name is Tempest. I currently live in Texas. I am 37 years old, no kids. I have actually had a fibroid surgery, and the particular fibroid surgery that I've had is a myomectomy. So a myomectomy basically is the removal of uterine fibroids. Kind of think of it on a smaller scale of a C-section. My myomectomy process was robotic. I was cut in multiple areas of my stomach where they found or was able to get to fibroids without interrupting or rupturing any other organ. The myomectomy surgery was only to go into my uterus. However, you have to go to the stomach, obviously, right? Go to my uterus to pull out the fibroids that was causing so much pain. I had that surgery in 2016. In another video, I'll talk about my surgery experience. So if you are somebody who's considering having a myomectomy, something that you can consider. My monthly menstrual pains and my symptoms did decrease a lot, and it began to kind of feel normal per se. However, I still experience cramping. I still experience heavy bleeding. However, I have always had heavy bleeding and cramping, so that was my normal. Now, fast forward to 2020, found out that I had 3 fibroids at the size of 7 millimeters. And I hope I'm saying that correctly. The ultrasound said that I had 3 fibroids in February of 2020. And then I thought, well, if I just eat clean, I just do right, you know, like I'm gonna be a stickler. I started to research my tail off on any and everything related to women's health. I went down so many rabbit holes trying to learn information, because at that time there was not a lot of information that I could find online or just people in general talking about fibroids. I began to detox and research just different stuff on how I can improve my health. And in April, I went back because, and I'll tell you why I went back so early. So between February and April, I was so diligent. I stopped drinking alcohol. I was working out every day. I was eating clean. All I ate during that time period was soup that I personally made myself, following a recipe that I found in relation to Dr. Sebi's. Unfortunately, I got the news that, So now you have 4 fibroids. And I just could not understand why. But the OBGYN did tell me that sometimes with the ultrasound, because of the fibroids of where they sit and the type of fibroids that they are, they can't see it all the way. There's an ultrasound that goes on top of your stomach, so basically it's on top of your skin, that they use the machine to verify and understand what's there. And then you have the vaginal ultrasound, and I'll just use my hand, that basically go in, so they look from the inside. Versus on top, on the outside. After that, being honest, in 2020, I said, forget it. Like, in 2020, I said, what's for me will be, I'm at this big age, which wasn't even much, but I was about, in 2020, I was maybe 33. Like, man, forget it. I was literally mad. I did everything that I could from 2020. After that, if I did not say, my doctor immediately wanted to have another surgery, and I said, no, thank you. Next caller. I immediately went on a quest to find a different OBGYN, and this time I wanted to make sure I found an OBGYN that looked like me. And that was super important for me because I wanted someone who would understand not only the physical things that I was going through in my body in terms of the fibroids. A lot of people don't talk about the mental state and the mental toll that it takes on you, not only going through surgery, so having a myomectomy, but just overall dealing with fibroids and how that disrupt your mental. I wanted to make sure that I found a doctor that looks like me, that could give me some reassurance that the chances of me having a baby healthy is not over, and just to understand like the toll, not only just being a Black woman in America, but a Black woman dealing with fibroids or something in the relation that society is telling me, or society tells women that they're less than because they cannot or not ready to do. I know it sounds weird. Or whatever, but going through it and the toll that it takes on your body, your mind and your body, I just need someone, especially from a medical standpoint, not a therapist, so someone that could treat and know my situation entirely, could just tell me, you know, there's some solution, there's some resources. So I found a new doctor. So since 2020, I was going to my new OBGYN, following the holistic plan to make sure that, you know, I just do necessary things to not be in pain and to avoid surgery. However, I missed a lot of steps. Personally. My doctor initially told me that I should take iron pills. I took them for like 3 months tops, and I said, never mind, I don't need it. Just being hard-headed. Oh my God, so hard-headed. And I would take iron pills every now and then, whatever, but didn't like really understand why I needed to take iron pills. So I was like, I mean, I'm cold, all right, big deal. We uncovered basically like the fibroids had grew, and not only the fibroids had grew, my labs out of whack. I had to just go back and figure it all out. One thing I have learned in my life, the smartest man knows that he knows nothing. I have dedicated myself to working out. I take my vitamins. I am very mindful of what I put into my body. And I try to partake in other activities that would assist and aid in shrinking my fibroids. So far, so good, but give me about 3 months and I'll do a whole recap. Let's move on to the questions. Let's move on to the questions. Okay, y'all, so I have a list of questions. Yes, I put it on Post-its. Some questions here that I want to answer in regards to fibroids. Okay, so the first question here is, can fibroids be found in fallopian tubes? Okay, no, sis. So uterine fibroids, hence uterus. Fibroids are cells and tissues that make up the tumor. Now, the tumor that is found are most likely benign tumors, meaning they are non-cancerous tumors that grows in your uterus. So, from my understanding, fibroids cannot be found in your fallopian tubes. That is a different condition that you may need to understand or know. I have learned that in relation to your fallopian tubes, you won't find uterine fibroids, but you may find cysts. And those cysts, that's a whole different story. That has nothing to do with fibroids, because fibroids are not cysts and cysts are not fibroids, because they grow in two different areas. To answer your question, fibroids can only be found in your uterus. Second question, can fibroids cause infertility? Unfortunately, fibroids can cause infertility. Fibroids won't cause you not to get pregnant, depending on, and again, I want to make sure that I am 100% clear on this, that it depends on the size and the type of fibroids you have. There are 5 different classifications of fibroids. I myself personally have been diagnosed to have 3 of those 5 types. Could you get pregnant with fibroids? Yes, women get pregnant with fibroids all the time. Question number 3, should I tell my partner I have fibroids? Yes, sis. You want to make sure that you and your partner, but let's just talk about you. Sis, we want to make sure that you are comfortable doing the act in any shape or form. Here's another question. Can I still have kids with fibroids? Absolutely. Again, like I mentioned before, most women don't know they have fibroids until they found out they're pregnant. So yes, you can have fibroids and have kids. What are your top complications with fibroids? I can't live this normal girl, soft girl era life like my friends. The next question is, when you first learned you had fibroids, what was the first steps to accepting it? Y'all, I'm not gonna lie. When I first found out I had fibroids, I cried like a baby, only because I just didn't want to deal with it. And find your tribe. Find people who's gonna ride out for you. Find people in your life who's gonna support you and hold you accountable. What did you do to find peace? I don't think I've 100% found peace in my fibroids. I just accepted it to be my new normal. Does the size or number of fibroids change your strategy to reduce the fibroids if surgery is not the preference? Yes, there is. Now, you do need to learn what type of fibroids you have. If you have like an intramural fibroid versus a peduncular fibroid, and like where it sits, the same method may not apply. The size of your fibroids should only change the time of you wanting to shrink your fibroids. Understanding that a fibroid with a 1 centimeter size versus a 7 centimeter size is not going to shrink the same time. Question, are fibroids cancerous? I think I answered that question already, but no, majority of the time fibroids are benign tumors and they are not cancerous. The last question is, what are some common symptoms that would indicate the possibility of fibroids? Some of the symptoms that could indicate that you have fibroids would be heavy bleeding, menstrual cramping, bloating after every meal, your hormones being out of whack, quick mood swings. And granted, this is not the be-all end-all of knowing you have fibroids, but those are symptoms that may think like, ooh, something may be going on here. I just don't know something there. Those are some symptoms, but again, most women don't know, and also myself, I didn't know I had fibroids because dealing with monthly menstrual cramping was like, that was just normal to me. I just thought that was regular. So you won't necessarily just know. However, some symptoms, like could be some indicators that you possibly may have fibroids. All right, guys, so if you have made it to the end of this video, thank you so much for hanging in there with me. I appreciate all the questions. If there are additional questions, comments, or concerns in relation to fibroids, girl, hit me up. I want to know. Let's chat about it. We're in this together. You do not have to do this alone. So let's get it. All right. Bye, guys. Peace.